Hello, everyone. My name's Sharzad Kiade. Welcome back to Not My Circle, a conversation series where I talk to people who aren't in my normal circle. Today, I am talking to Shama, who lives completely off the grid. She is fascinating. I love her. I'm obsessed. And I hope you guys get a lot of good takeaways from this conversation. Enjoy. Let's start, Shama, with what did you have for breakfast today?
I haven't had breakfast yet. I had my coffee.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna have breakfast?
Yes, I will have a later breakfast, and I usually don't eat as soon as I get up. I get up and make my coffee. I'm from Sweden, and we are the second in the world coffee drinkers.
Oh.
We drink average 3.5 cups of coffee every day.
I feel like my dad and husband are the most hardcore coffee drinkers. They should have been Swedish. They're Middle Eastern though. So
I think they maybe have some Swedish roots in them.
I've been to Sweden. And I'll probably mispronounce it, but Helsingborg near Denmark.
Helsingborg?
Yeah. It was awesome. I went to a Swedish wedding in Sweden, and it was one of the funnest parties I've ever been to.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
I love
That's wonderful. Yeah.
So my sister obviously was raving about you. She said, you have to talk to this interesting woman. And I said, yes, definitely. You live completely off the grid.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about that, because I really don't know much about it, but I feel like my husband keeps saying, we got to live off the grid. We got to live off the grid. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know what that means. What does that mean to live off the grid?
Well, it means that we do not have electricity from the grid. So we have electricity from solar powered the panels and batteries that hold the charge, and then we can have regular electricity, but it's from the sun. And we also have the water from our own well. And that's kind of it. Yeah, our sewer system is also, we have compost toilets. We do have two different sewer systems. So I live in a little cabin, and I have my bathroom. So I have the toilet that goes into the sewer system. So, but that's all off. They have to come and take care of that. If it gets built.
How long have you been living off the grid?
7 years.
And what made you want to live off the grid?
Well, I finally understood that I do not get charged with a lot of people or with the city life, and it just drains me. So I never thought that I was going to live like this when I was growing up, or when I was in my prime with my work situations. However, I can see now I am so happy here. It's and then of course I meet a lot of interesting people coming to the Airbnb and to the hip camp, and so that's my now. I love it. I would never have met your sister if I wouldn't have, and I would never have been here talking to you. So it's a very interesting life, not very set as my parents and many of my friends are living in a very set life. It's unset all the time here. We never know what's happening. It's just interesting.
I have so many questions, but how did you learn to live off the grid? I imagine it was a lot of trial and error or research and prep, but that's just me thinking about me living off the grid. What was that experience of transitioning off the grid like for you, and how did you learn how to do everything?
And I would not have done that if I didn't have my son with me.
Okay.
That it's his Heartland Collective is his business, and I'm also a business partner in that. And within that, we have the Airbnb, and within that, we have festivals, and within that, we host different gatherings, and within that, where people can rent our space out. So, but he is the manager of that. I am the silent kind of partner that is supporting this economically and mentally and psychologically and all that. So we are a mom and son business partner, which in itself is an interesting adventure.
Right.
As a mom and as a son, to let go of the old roles and see each other for business partners, and see each other for capable, and see each other for when we need help. And yes, I've needed help in a lot of this stuff that needs to happen. If something breaks out here, nobody wants to come out here and fix it. When I lived in the city, I just called a handyman or someone, and they come out and they come and help. And that's not happening here.
Right.
People are not willing to get this far out.
What was that process like, though, to learn how to put solar panels up, or to learn about your drinking water from your well? Like, I hear that, but I don't actually know what does that mean? How does the water get into the well? How does that all work?
Yeah. Well, we had to drill for water, and yeah. So that's so then you hire people to see where could a well be. Okay. We had a little well, but that was not enough for more people than two that was living here before. So we needed to drill for a new well. So living off the grid, you need to have some economic resources. So you cannot just have nothing.
Right.
Well, probably some people could do it with nothing because they are very, very resourceful within themselves. We were not. So there were a little solar system set up here when we came. So then we had friends and hired people that were friends. So we kept the money kind of in the friend circle, how new things, and then we rather pay them than get to the bigger companies. So that's how that worked out.
Why do you think so many people are interested right now in living off the grid? What is it about modern day society that is bringing people to want to live your kind of lifestyle?
Well, my first thought is the connection to nature, to really feel that listening to the birds, having time to do that. Not when we live in the city, there's so much noise and there's so much to do that to actually sit down and just be with nature is it's a challenge, and because there's so many things to do, and you're afraid of missing out if you didn't go to this that or here. You cannot do that because this is it. The birds are my movies today, or the chickens. I have 14 chickens that runs free here, and they are my movie. And then all the people that comes here, then we gather together and we play games. So it's kind of like how it was before. We're going back into, but also with the feeling good that you have showers and you can do all this, and you don't have to wash all your clothes by hands, or so you have also the modern help, even if you live like I do. of
Right.
the grid. So it's and I think most people today are looking for connection, and that could be living together. However, it's not just to put some people together and live, because that takes work.
Right.
That's why, I mean, look at just a couple, how hard it is to hold on to a relationship. And now suddenly maybe you're 6, 7, or 8 people that wants to start something together. Well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to accept each other's differences, and how can we get together. So we work a lot with the nonviolent communication. And when people come here and for work trade that we also have to from all over the world, we are not saying that they have to, but we request that they're going to read the 4 agreements. It's a book that we then have a common language to talk about if something happens. Okay, well, did you take that personal, or did you make some assumptions that were not really there? Were you impeccable with your words? Did you do your best? Those are the 4 agreements, and that everyone that comes here read that book.
So you also offer the opportunity for people to come and work on your land in exchange for a place to stay.
Yes, and food and exchange and stay, food and stay, and they work 5 hours a day, weekend free.
Right.
I think coming from a Swedish background, everyone knows how to cook or bake or sew. In Sweden, we are the people that knows how to take care of us ourselves. You know, I've come here to the United States. Well, there's a lot of people, the young people have no clue. I've never done. I've kind of been spoiled into not being reliable on taking care of themselves.
Right. I think that's interesting. I feel like with COVID, there's been a lot of people leaving the cities, of course, and buying land in places that are a bit more remote. I mean, my husband and I have talked about that at length, kind of, you know, getting away, being more in nature. I mean, we live in a really pretty area, but we're certainly not out in the boonies or anything. And I do feel like there is a bigger pull, maybe now more than ever, like I said, to just kind of get off the grid. What would you tell somebody who wants this kind of lifestyle? How should they prepare? What should they expect?
I would say that you have to have some money. You have some money. You don't have to have a lot of money, but you have to have something, because you have to find water. It would be wonderful to get a piece of land where there is water. There already is a well, and not romanticize it. Just seeing there's a lot of work.
Okay.
But we love it. I mean, we love this, and my son. I mean, he's learned so much, and we have YouTube. You can learn anything.
University of YouTube. That's right. Yep.
It's just, but you don't learn communication, and you don't learn interaction, and you don't learn empathy, and you don't learn frictions, and you don't learn all these things, or you don't learn to let go. You don't learn to all this that it has to do with humanness, to be together. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about learnings. Okay, I screwed that up. Okay, well, now what can I do about it? And not blaming either oneself or another if it doesn't work out. It's just okay. We just learned that. I mean, we have done so many mistakes here. We drilled into a water line, and so we got all our water just totally drained out, and we had to wait for 2 days for it to fill up. And I mean, those things, and then we just look at each other and say, oops, what can we do with this bowl? And now we put a little faucet there, and now we're going to do a little, some art project around it. So we just have to be creative and not thinking that it's going to be a certain way. Oops, we'll have to change that into this then now, and learning.
Right. And being flexible, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, people, I was reading an article that was saying that humans now are the dumbest that they've ever been, because we are so, we're like zombies addicted to phones. And if there was some sort of, the Wi-Fi was turned off or something, a lot of people would have no idea how to survive, myself included. I mean, 100% self-included. I don't know how to garden. I don't know how to sew. I would be voted off the island pretty quickly. I'm pretty entertaining, so they kept me around for a little while to tell some jokes. But once they realized I wasn't good at anything else, I'd probably get kicked off. But I feel like, it is a romantic thought to sort of buy some land and live on your own. But do you feel like it's not lonely at all? You're with your son and you're meeting all these people because of the way you've set up your business with the Airbnb. Did you ever feel lonely, or like, damn, I made a mistake, or I miss people, or I miss the old quote unquote lifestyle I had? Did you ever think about that?
No. But I also, I go out and do things. I have two very deep passion interests that I do. And so I dance tango and Ooh. I golf. Yes. Yeah. So I'm out there in the regular world and doing those things. And that's my therapy.
Okay.
And that's totally my therapy. I go out, and I think it's very important to have something that one is doing only for oneself, and I think every couple, also every relationship, have that, so we're not codependent of each other, and I think that's really important. I mean, it's interesting because my son is always, you you should have a relationship, there would be this. And nah, have you seen any really happy relationships lately? But I mean, it's so romanticized with, you have to be a couple, or you have to be, no. We need to work on our own happiness. And yes, if there is a partner, that's wonderful. But it's not our responsibility to make anyone happy. Totally. So we've had a lot of discussions about that. And I thrive with being with people that are doing what they love to do.
Right.
That's what I thrive with that. So the work trade program includes a lot of discussions and what people really are passionate of. Their life force is blooming while they may be drilling or doing something. I have never done that before. Right. So it is not just living off the grid. This is also an educational center, and we have the 4 pillars that we work on, and that is the outer work, the inner work, the transformation, and the celebration. Because we celebrate every week, we celebrate what we have done.
Awesome.
So
it's inspiring. I know obviously why Shireen wanted us to chat. It's so inspiring. People are, and again, myself included, I get in this little routine and rhythm of social media and emails and getting ahead. And every time I spend a good amount of time in nature, I feel like that's what does recharge my soul. Yeah. Does make me feel good to just be, like you said. When is the last time anybody is just sitting and being? Usually when I just sit, I'm like, well, okay, I got to at least meditate. I got to put in the headphones and be productive, even while I'm just sitting. And to just truly sit with my thoughts is something that I really don't do that much. And we grew up camping a lot and spending a lot of time in nature. And it's therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. I'm sure it's hard work. And I appreciate that you said it does require money and it's not as romantic as people think, but the payoff seems to be there for you guys. So it's called woofing, right? That term, I've been hearing that more lately.
Woofing and world packers.
Oh, okay.
And there's another work trade. I think it is another big international organization where you can trade your knowledge of work for housing, food and house. Yeah.
What are some common misconceptions about your lifestyle living off the grid?
I think I have, since I have friends that lived so-called regular lives, I think sometimes I think that I was very poor. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't. I don't know. That's the story that I'm telling myself, mm-hmm. because I've heard certain comments sometimes, and oh my gosh, okay, it's all right. Now I'm fine, and I know that many of them could not live like this. I mean, my cabin now is upside down because I'm renovating it and I'm getting a modern kitchen, and that is totally for myself. Yeah. And that has been so hard for me to do, because having had 4 kids and moving to another country, always thinking about others, it's hard to think about myself and my own comfortability. Is that a word?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. and spending money on myself. It's that is the hardest thing. And today, I think a lot of young people that they just spend too much money on themselves and not thinking about, oh, maybe I should save that, so maybe I can move off the grid. But they're spending a lot.
Right. Going into debt. Debt.
Yeah, going into absolutely thinking that that's free money. And then it's just so sad. And also now there's so many work opportunities. No one wants to work.
No. Everybody wants to be an Instagram model.
Yes. Yeah. And it's, wow. And it's so much fun to work. And after work, it's, I did this.
Right.
I made this.
Yeah. I think people in my experience that I've talked to that are struggling, it's really lack of purpose every day. It's that feeling of like, when I wake up in the morning, what am I actually going to do with myself? What am I going to do with my hands? How am I going to use my mind? And then at the end of the day, feeling a sense of fulfillment after you did, whatever it is you're supposed to do. And I think, if you live off the grid, you wake up with the purpose every day, right? You've got to chase the chickens and get the eggs. You've got to make sure the water is filtered. You've got food stockpiled. You take care of your body, because I imagine it's pretty hard to get to a doctor or a hospital or something. I imagine there's always something to do, but that having purpose every day is what keeps you waking up happy, right? Yeah. That's what I imagine. And that's why
No, that's so beautiful. And that is one of the big visions that Anders also have, that we also have for people that come here to find that.
Right.
What find the purpose and find, oh my gosh, I didn't know I liked this building. I'm going to take some classes about buildings, later on, whatever it can be. I didn't know I like to hospitality, take care of Airbnb guests. I'm going to go to school and learn a little more about that.
This should be like requirement after high school graduation to come find your purpose, live off the land, learn about living maybe a little bit more minimally, learn about where your water comes from. I think, we're so disconnected, not just with human interaction, because we're hunched over looking on Instagram, but also disconnected to where our water comes from. I don't know where my water comes from. I don't know I don't know how electricity works. I don't, I say this not to put anybody else down, also because I live that way. Like I'm not aware too. And I think, you hear, unfortunately, suicide rates go up. And I think it can be traced back to a lot of people feeling so disconnected. Yeah. Why are they here? What is their purpose? How do things work? What can I do every day? Yeah, I love what you're doing. I love it. I want, Shireen and I talk like the vision of this conversation series. We'd love to do these in person, and I'd love to be walking around your property. And
video. That should be video. Yeah. That's next step.
Next step. And then, we can come and visit you and do this, because I think there's so much power in actually connecting in person, right? And then seeing everything you do. What do you want people to know about you?
That I cry every day.
Okay.
I'm totally not afraid of when I feel. Mm-hmm. And I can feel compassion for something. I can cry for that, and then I can feel compassion for myself and my aging process. I can feel compassion about, who is that person that looks back at me in the mirror? I don't recognize all those things. So it's not. It's really important that it's normal. It's normal because we're so indoctrinated into the beauty and youth and feeling happy all the time, and it's gratefulness and all those things. But at the end of the day, we are there by ourselves, and those thoughts comes in, and I'm not afraid of sitting with them. Mm-hmm. Sit with them, but I'm also very aware when those thoughts goes into victim role. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So where is the breaking point into, okay, I'm going to sit and feel and feel my emotions, but I can feel a shift when it goes into stories. Mm-hmm. Stories about, that shouldn't be, when they comes in a should or a but, watch out what comes after that.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. I spend too much time, they say, shoulding on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fall victim to that too. Well, that's really, really powerful. I love that you said that you cry every day. I think that's great. It's such a release. Every time I cry, I'm like, I feel I got that out. I can kind of like move on. It's therapeutic for me.
Yeah, it is. And that we are all sharing this humanness, and that everyone has a story. Yeah. Everyone. And we are filling this world with a lot of stories, and we can help each other be more empathically connected with the people that we might think is not the same as us. Totally. Just think about all this with the COVID now and the vaccine. You're not vaccinated. You're not. It's just going to be another separation, and then elitism, or kind of, I got it. No, you don't. And as hey.
Yeah, I know. I agree. We're all people. The wars that COVID has created between the mask wearing and the non-mask wearing, the vaccinated, the non-vaccinated, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. And that's why we go back into our own to being empaths about ourselves, and what is that. Behind it is all fear. It's all fear.
Totally.
and work on, and that, okay, there's a little fear coming out, and holding that fear, little baby. I always said, okay, come on, little fear baby. Well, what do we know? What do we know? You could do. Would you want to cuddle a little? Okay, let's cuddle a little with the fear here, and then suddenly you do it like you do now. You just start laughing. Oh my gosh, did I get caught up in this? But there's all little voices that need to be taken care of. We cannot push them down.
Yeah.
And it's like with the aging, or with something that, okay, you feel, oh, we don't do this, cuddle.
Oh my God. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. We talked a lot about feeling a sense of purpose. How do you feel being totally reliant on yourself? I mean, you can do so much for yourself. How does that feel?
Mm-hmm. Feels good. Good, yay. And it feels empowering. And it feels also that, I know I can do a lot, but I'm also not afraid of asking for help.
Right.
But I was, because I knew I can do so much. So how would they think about me if I'm asking for help? Right. They think I can do everything, and then I'm asking for help. Then maybe they're not thinking I'm as good as I said that I was.
Right.
So all this self awareness of, it's great to ask for help. However, know when that asking for help is that you don't want to really do that stuff. And then you can say, I don't really want to do that. So will you give me a hand and help me get over that I don't want to do this?
Right. It's got to be so empowering. Like, you get your chickens, and then you go get your eggs, and then you're so connected to where your food is from, and you want to, you just take care of business.
Yeah.
So amazing. It is really inspiring. It's very, very inspiring. And you have such a youthful energy about you. And I can feel the energy through the screen even. And that's so cool. It's such a testament to the lifestyle that you chose.
Yeah. Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah. It's and I do laugh. My son gives me a lot of laughter because he pushes me. And he pushes me more than I push him. Okay. And so that's good. And then, but we have such a trust in each other. And then I look at him, and then I just start laughing. It's just, oh my gosh, did I get myself into this? This is, So it's humor is good, but also seriousness. I'm a really, really serious. It can be a really serious person, and I get down to business. And if I feel that you're bullshitting me, I would say that. No, that's bullshit. I don't feel your heart in this, or whatever it is.
Right.
And so I'm not afraid of that.
Right. Life's too short to be fake.
Way too blessed to be stressed. That's what I'm saying.
I love that. Well, Shama, I mean, I feel like I could talk to you forever, and I so appreciate our time. And the next step is for me to come visit you,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll bring my husband and my kids, and I'm sure they'll love it. And I'll make Shreen come again, and we'll have a little party with you.
Have a party, have the video camera, and just have some fun.
Well, Shama, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that Shreen got to connect with you. And I hope to make it up your way, sometime in the
Anytime. Anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
We'll see you later.